married now, but I was once a lowly single girl, in her 30s no less, the worst kind. And I have some vivid memories of what some might call the dark days. Now, when you are single and female, and particularly when you're in your 30s, you get a lot of dating advice from your married friends, your single friends, TV, movie, magazines, and books. Lots and lots of books. I am an avid reader, but when it comes to how to meet the perfect man, or how to be the perfect woman, or how to find an unsuspecting man, trick him into loving you, and keep him down the rest of his life, I find that I am not that interested. However, over the years, I found it impossible not to pick up a few dating rules. They rub into you, and you can't get rid of them, kind of like herpes. Here are a few of my favorites. Rule number 1, never make the first move. Men like to spot you, chase you, and catch you. Rule number 2, never be too available. If you like a guy, do not call him, and when he calls you, do not pick up. It should always appear as if you have better things to do. And rule number 3, when you finally found that special someone, do not, under any circumstances, be the first one to say, "I love you." Now, there are a million things a lady should or shouldn't do when she's trying to lift the burden of singlehood, but those 3, never make the first move, never be too available, and never say "I love you" first, seem to be the ones that everyone agrees on. I have been with Bart, my husband and soon-to-be baby daddy, which, thank you. I have learned from the movies that this is a great way to trap a guy. But from Jerry Springer, I've learned not so effective. I've been with Bart now for over 5 years, and I still remember how we met. I orchestrated it. I was training for a marathon with Team in Training, and I needed to raise money because they're a nonprofit, and so we were going to be hosting a bachelorette auction. Being single at the time, I knew not one single man, so I went looking on MySpace for a few good men to auction off. When I came across Bart's profile, I thought he was just, sorry to my stepmom, my mother-in-law, I thought he was just the hottest thing I had ever seen. And I know from running a business that you should know as much as you can about your prospect before you contact them. So I read through his profile very carefully and found out that he's a 3D animator, which is perfect because I run a video company. So I sent him an email and invited him to coffee under the pretext of us getting together to talk about business. It was a little underhanded, I know, but it worked. He responded to my email. Now, I first sought out and contacted Bart because I was looking for a sexy auction item. But after getting to know him, I realized that there was no way he would ever get up on a stage and shake his booty, even for a good cause. He's kind of shy. And that was okay with me because I realized I wanted to keep this one for myself. We started hanging out socially, we went out with friends, he came on a jog with my team. I usually invited him, and as he kept saying yes, I kept inviting him. All of my friends told me that he liked me, but he wasn't exactly making any moves, so I finally just invited him to my house for a movie night, just the 2 of us. Since I planned it, it was super romantic. I picked the perfect movie. We watched In the Name of the King, a dungeon siege tale. I'm pretty sure there's a rule about not geeking out too much on your first date, but I'm way beyond help on that one. After the movie, which sucked, we sat on the couch and talked, and it was really sweet. And then we made out, and it was really sweet. And then we followed we followed the most important rule and did not do anything else that night. The next day, I had to pick up my race packet in DC because I was running a marathon the following day, so I managed to be busy for the whole day and not see Bart. But the following afternoon, after running the Marine Corps Marathon, I went over to Bart's house, and the next morning, when we were saying goodbye, I asked if we could see each other that night, and we did, and the next night, and the night after that, and pretty soon it was 2 weeks, and there had only been that one day, that awful day, that we had been separated. What can I say? I wanted to see him a lot. He wanted to see me too, so we did. And after 2 weeks of not being able to be apart, except for having to go to stupid work, I found myself in Bart's bedroom where we played a little game that we invented. Don't worry, it's G-rated. I said to Bart, "I love your smile." And he said, "I love your smile." And then it was his turn, and he said, "I love your hair." And I said, "I love your hair." And then we moved on to eyes and laughs and various body parts, some of which we don't share in common. And eventually I was trying to figure out how to win this game because I'm very competitive. So finally I decided to go all in, and I said, "And I love you." And I guess he didn't want to lose because he said, "I love you too." And we have said that to each other every day since. So I met and married the man of my dreams, or trapped him, if you will, by finding him and making the first move, by spending every possible available second with him, and by saying "I love you" before he said it. So I guess what I learned is if you are single and looking, screw the advice and write your own rules.